The gun hasn't fired yet, and already you can feel it. 6 women, 1 track, and a race that's about to tear this stadium apart. Lieke Klaver out of the Netherlands, Henriette Jaeger carrying Norway's flag, Paula Sevilla with all of Spain behind her. They're all here, locked in, ready. The blocks are set, the crowd is loud, and somebody is about to make history on this track. Lourdes Gloria Manuel of Czechia, lane 1. Alice Mangione of Italy, lane 2. Poland's Justina Swiatek, lane 3. Henriette Jaeger of Norway, lane 4. Paula Sevilla of Spain, lane 5. Lieke Klaver of the Netherlands, lane 6. 6 women, 1 lap to settle it. Whoever gets out first and holds her form around that bend is going to be very tough to run down. They're off, 6 athletes out of the blocks. Klaver goes out hard from lane 6. She is not playing around. Jaeger right with her. The Norwegian is aggressive in lane 4, driving those knees, taking ground. Klaver is the tallest woman in this field, and she's using every inch of that stride. Through the first 100, and she's setting a blistering pace. Jaeger matching her step for step, but Klaver will not give an inch. Klaver through 223.4. She is flying. Jaeger in her wake, not done, trying to get up on Klaver's shoulder around this bend. Sevilla pressing in third, but Klaver is pulling away. Jaeger swings wide, working extra meters to close the gap. Into the final straight, Klaver leads. Jaeger throwing everything at the home straight. But can anyone bring her back? Klaver wins, gold for the Netherlands, Jaeger silver, Sevilla bronze. 50.38. The fastest 400 meters run by anyone in Europe this year. Lieke Klaver just delivered one of the great championship performances. She went out hard and she never ever let up. That is not a race you survive. That is a race you control from gun to tape, wire to wire, start to finish. What a run by the Dutch champion. Look at Klaver. She's in complete shock, and honestly so is everyone in this building. The crowd is going absolutely wild. This is what they came to see, the poster girl for this sport delivering on the biggest stage. She wanted this. She trained for this. She came out here and she made it happen in front of a stadium that won't forget this race for a long time. Gold on day 1. Lieke Klaver, champion of Europe. Second gold of day 1 for the Netherlands. She went out fast, stayed fast, and nobody in this field could live with her pace. She made it look easy out there. What a day this has been for Dutch athletics. Jaeger gave everything attacking that final bend, running wide, running hard, trying to close the gap. But Klaver had too much speed and too much strength tonight. No shame in that silver. This is Klaver's race plan every single time. Go out fast and dare the field to follow. It takes guts to run like that, and tonight nobody in the world had an answer for it. Watch Klaver's gun reaction in slow motion. Clean, explosive, zero hesitation off the blocks. She's already in full acceleration while others are still finding their rhythm. Through the first bend, the body position is perfect. Tall, forward lean just right, arms working hard and efficiently. Now watch Jaeger make her move. She swings wide, attacking on the outside of the bend. Instinctive play, but on these sweeping indoor curves, that decision costs real distance. Klaver, meanwhile, is hitting the apex perfectly, protecting her line, not wasting a single step. Into the final straight, watch the gap. It does not close. Jaeger is working as hard as she can, but she spent critical energy fighting around that bend. Klaver's stride stays long and powerful all the way through the line. She never tightened up, never panicked, just kept driving. That composure at 50.38 is what separates a champion from the rest of the field. The Netherlands flag is out on the track. Klaver's soaking in every second of this moment, and she has absolutely earned it. The whole stadium on its feet, roaring for the new European champion. Lieke Klaver, European champion, season's best, the fastest woman over 400 meters on this continent in 2025. That's the number. She came, she ran, she won. Lieke Klaver is the champion of Europe. The race was decided at 200 meters. Klaver hit the halfway mark in 23.4, and at that split, on that curve, with that kind of lead already built, the result was functionally over. Jaeger was still close, still competing hard, but she was running in Klaver's wake rather than alongside her. When a 400-meter runner of Klaver's caliber goes through the first half in 23.4 and still has her mechanics intact coming off the bend, The math just doesn't work for whoever's chasing. The final margin was 0.07 seconds. It looks tight on paper. It wasn't. Klaver had enough left to handle anything Jaeger threw at her in the straight, and she knew it. What makes a 23.4 first 200 so significant in an indoor final is the context it creates for the rest of the race. Indoors, the track is tighter, the curves are more compressed, and the physical demand of running hard through those bends accumulates faster than it does outdoors. Going through halfway in 23.4 and then holding on to run 50.38 total means Klaver ran the second 200 in roughly 27 seconds. That's not a collapse, that's a controlled finish by someone who knew exactly what she had in the tank and spent it at the right rate. The athletes who went with her early paid a different price in the back half. Klaver didn't. What separated her tactically was the decision to run her own race from the first stride, regardless of lane position. Lane 6 on an indoor track is not where you choose to execute a front-running strategy if you had a choice. You're on the outside, you can see the athletes inside you but not those further in, and the temptation is to let someone else set tempo and respond to it. Klaver ignored that logic entirely. She went straight to the front, aggressive from the gun, and forced every other athlete in the field to react to her. That's a psychologically demanding way to run, because you're also running partially blind. You don't know exactly where Jaeger is sitting. You don't know if Sevilla is making a move from lane 5. You have to trust your conditioning and your judgment about pace, and you have to do it while running at the limit of your aerobic capacity. Klaver trusted both. She's done this before. It's not a gamble for her, it's a method. Her mechanics through the curve were efficient for someone running that hard at that point in the race. She's the tallest athlete in this field, and she uses that stride length to cover the bend rather than fight it. Taller runners can sometimes look labored on tight indoor curves, but Klaver has refined her technique enough that the height works in her favor. She maintains tempo through the apex of the curve rather than decelerating into it, which keeps her velocity high when she hits the straight. That's where the race was settled. She came off the final bend with enough speed still in her legs that Jaeger couldn't close the gap in the 80 or so meters of straight that followed. Jaeger ran 50.45. Put that in any other heat in this championship and she's probably wearing gold. She wasn't outclassed in terms of fitness or preparation. She ran a genuinely fast race and lost to someone who ran faster. The question around Jaeger is the line she took attacking the final bend. She needed to close. She committed early to going around the outside, and that decision added distance at exactly the moment when the legs are telling you the lactic acid is building. Running extra meters in the third 100 of a 400 indoors on a tight curve is a significant energy cost. The margin she lost by was smaller than the extra distance she covered. That's a difficult calculation to carry home after a silver medal. Whether waiting for the straight and looking for a kick from closer range would have produced a different result is genuinely unknowable. What's clear is that Jaeger ran a brave race and came up 700th short against a woman who was always going to be very hard to catch once she established that kind of lead at 200. Paula Sevilla took bronze in 50.99 for Spain. She ran a composed race, sitting third through most of the final, and ran her own controlled split through the second half. 50.99 is a legitimate championship time. She didn't make a big move that backfired, and she didn't fade out of medal position. She ran to her level and collected what was available. Lourdes Gloria Manuel finished fourth for Czechia in 51.38, clean and competitive. Justina Swiatek of Poland and Alice Mangione of Italy rounded out the field in 51.5, 9 and 51.84. The spread from first to last across all 6 athletes was under 1.5 seconds. This was a real final with real racing throughout, 50.38 as a season's best places. Klaver at the top of the European rankings for the year. Indoors to outdoors conversion isn't a simple calculation, because the track geometry and competitive conditions differ significantly, but the execution in this race tells you more than the number anyway. A front-running performance that holds a 23.4 first half to finish in 50.38 in an indoor championship final is not a fluke of conditions or a lucky draw. It's a controlled, confident performance by an athlete who knows exactly how to run the 400. European women's 400-meter running has been competitive at the highest level for years, and Klaver has been one of its most consistent figures. This result reinforces that standing. The trajectory from here is the interesting question. Klaver's approach works because her speed endurance matches her front-running instincts. The concern that follows any indoor front-runner into the outdoor season is the back half of a 400 on a longer straight. Outdoors, the final straight is longer, the race distance absorbed is the same, but the mechanical demand in that last 80 meters is different. She managed it cleanly here. Whether she can carry that same model through rounds and finals in close succession across an outdoor championship is the real test ahead. She's shown she can win this way. The question is repeatability under different conditions and with more racing in the legs. Jaeger will want another shot. Sevilla showed she belongs in this conversation, but the image from this final that stays is Klaver coming off that last bend in lane 6, already ahead, stride still long, the field unable to answer. That's what 50.38 looks like when it's being run rather than clocked.